Hey guys, how's it going today? My name is Inferno's Games, otherwise known as Pokemon Decals on Instagram or Snazzy Decals for You on Etsy. Today, I'm actually going to be showing off my Miscut error misprint collection, and hopefully in the future I'll be doing more videos about different miscuts and different things I get in my collection. Or I actually collect blisters as well, and I make custom cards. So if any of those are things that you might want to see in the future, hit that subscribe button and we'll get things rolling here. First up, I have a Dark Persian. Well, what's special about this Dark Persian is that, see right here, there's no HP. They completely forgot to put the HP on this card. I believe it came in a trainer's magazine, and they kind of just sent it all out and didn't realize until it was too late. I believe they were recalled then soon after because they didn't want to like have these out in public. They didn't want the public to have these cards, so they recalled the magazines. But who's gonna send the magazines back? A lot of people kept them, and now there's a bunch of these different ones. And there's only one thing that's better than one Dark Persian without HP, and that's actually 3 Dark Persians without HP. Yeah, here they are, all 3 of them that I have in my collection, and they're just so cool. There's something I really love about them. The blank space there just makes them all the better. They're really hard to find raw nowadays. I've been collecting not too long, and I really haven't found a lot of these, but here's the first 3 that I even stumbled across. I just picked them up as soon as I could. Next up, I'm going to be showing off some of my square cut cards. First off, here's a Toxicroak that actually has only 2 sides that are square cut. You guys might have to bear with me here because I do not have the right equipment right now, nor do I have the right lens, tripod, microphone, anything. So it might be kind of hard to see, but in the future I'll definitely make another video that kind of shows these more in depth. Next up, we have Gyarados square cut, completely square cut, all 4 corners. The thing is, there's a debate between these. There's a ton of these that were actually cut by hand. So here's a Hitmonchan square cut. This one actually looks pretty nice. The corners have a little bit of damage, but there's a debate between if some of these are actually hand cut or machine cut, and there are some that actually can get graded by Beckett, but most of the time these are hand cut, and if you can tell here, this is really bad cuts, and most of the time these will be hand cut, but I don't really care because they were once from a full sheet that somebody acquired somehow. Like this one's pretty bad, this one's not straight at all, but some people actually said that the Pokemon Company gave some of these square cuts away to some people that worked there. So there's a really big debate going on. Here's another Hitmonchan. See if I can get in focus here. Another Hitmonchan. Another Hitmonchan. I have a ton of these in different cases and stuff. Most of the time when I get them in, I just leave them in whatever case they're in. I don't even bother to change them around. Here's a Mewtwo. I really like Mewtwo. I think this is my only one that I have. Another Gyarados. These are all really nice. I got them from one of my friends on Instagram, and they're really nice ones actually. Here's a Ninetales. Another Ninetales. This one's really nice. You can actually see the alignment dots here. Again, this obviously was probably cut by a person because they knew to keep these alignment dots in, but I still love them nonetheless. Another Ninetales here. And our last one, another Ninetales. I have a good collection of Ninetales, Gyarados, Hitmonchan. Those are the most common, and they also all look really nice. I love all the base set cards, so they work out perfect for me. Next up are these Zapdoses here. It might be a little hard to see. Let's see if I can get in focus here. There we go. Next up are the Zapdoses here with actually a holographic error in the right corner. It might be kind of hard to see, but they actually forgot to leave it holographic in the corners of these. And the reason that they forgot to do that is because in a lot of cards there's actually the stage here, and they don't print the holographic when there's that stage there. For some reason, whoever was in charge of printing the Zapdos just thought that it had a stage here or something. I'm not 100% sure how that happened, but it comes in a normal variant and also first edition. They were both, some of them that were printed that way, so that's kind of really cool. And I have a normal one here to kind of show you the difference, how it's completely holographic, the whole every part of it, not missing this corner here. Speaking of holographic errors, this one's actually the opposite. It's a Japanese Haunter, and I believe that every single Japanese Haunter has this error, so it's not very rare, and you can pick it up anywhere. But you see, instead of leaving the stage out of the holographic, they accidentally covered up the entire thing as if it was just a basic Pokemon here. So that's funny that it's actually basically the opposite of what I just showed you. Speaking of Haunter, I actually have a Stain Haunter, which is basically like a print error where this was kind of rubbed. The ink was rubbed on a whole bunch of different ones. This one's actually a pretty bad error. As you can see, a lot of them had these lines in here that was the stain, but most of the time they didn't go this far over, and see how that blue got smeared all the way over on the card. Most of the time they were going over about half as much as this, or maybe not even as much. It needs to have this much to actually get graded as a ST by PSA, I believe. And a lot of people are advertising them as a stain when PSA doesn't consider them as a stain. They are still a stain, but I'm not 100% sure if PSA grades them all the time when they don't have a stain all the way over. Next up, we have a pincer where the holographic was actually shifted down. As you can see, it doesn't go all the way to the top and it goes a little far past. And you can see quite the outline of pincer, but it's actually all shifted directly down. These are actually a lot harder to come across. I haven't seen very many. I mean, I haven't been collecting very long, but I know that these are kind of hard to come by, so I try to pick these up if I ever see them, which this was the only one I've ever seen that was actually reasonable, so that's why I picked this one up. And since we're already talking about pincer, here's another pincer error. This one's called the scratch error. It might be kind of hard to see here, but this right here, the holographic actually goes a little farther here, and it looks kind of like it got scratched, as the scratch error kind of describes. These aren't the rarest compared to the last one I just showed you, but they're pretty neat, and it's kind of cool that a whole bunch of them kind of had that error, and not all of them had it, which makes it even better. Next up, I have an APOM print error. It might be a little hard to see, but down here they actually, I don't know how it happened, but somehow printed on top of there was words already there, and somehow they printed right on top of it, at least the first couple letters here. Very odd. I've never seen something exactly like this. The first time I saw it, I thought it was kind of like a marker drawn on it, but it really is letters printed on top of that. And I think I have one more that's kind of like that, or at least I've seen another that's like that, but I thought this was really quite unique of an error. Up next, I got some Sun and Moon miscuts. These two are holographic, this isn't, but these are pretty nicely miscut. I wish they were like the rare cards or the ultra rare cards or whatever, but they're still really cool. You can see the top part of the card. I really like it when they're reverse holographic, and you can see the top part of the next card up there. It looks really cool. Here we have the Blastoise stage error. It's actually missing the stage up here, which is, I'm not quite sure exactly how it happened, because it kind of looks like it was like smeared off, but there's tons like this, so it's kind of an odd one. There's actually a Wartortle one, which I do not own, that has a Wartortle in the top corner here as its evolution, so that's really funny. Next we got my the crimped part of my collection here. So here's some Pikachus, obviously crimped at the top, as you can see. Next up we got a Helioptile, another one crimped at the top. These aren't very rare because sometimes they get stuck in packs like this. It just depends the card. Sometimes if it's a really nice card and it's crimped, it might be worth a little more. Normally crimped cards, I don't know, you could buy them for like $5 maybe. Here's a Meowth. I thought this one was kind of cute. Slightly crimped bottom, but enough for me to make me want to get it. And here's an Arbok, Fossil Arbok. This one's kind of cool, crimped top. This is one of the first fossil cards I've actually seen with the crimped top, so I thought that was kind of neat. And these next ones here are really cool. They are Machamp, crimped and cut. So I wish I had a Machamp right now that has the actual cellophane on it, but they gave a lot of these Machamps out. I'm not quite sure why, but they had the cellophane on it, so it was crimped on one side, crimped on the other. And these guys must have got stuck somewhere in the middle of the machine, and it actually crimped on both sides where it would normally crimp on the top of the cellophane and then cut them apart. It actually was able to crimp on both sides, and then you can even see the cut line. I'm not quite sure you can see it as much on this one, but you can really see it on this one. Went crimped both ways, and then it tried to cut it. I thought that was kind of funny. These are really cool collector's items. There's a lot amount of these out there, but they're still really cool. Here is the Diglett error, which is actually just this sideways, I believe, yeah, sideways fighting energy here for Dig. That's kind of the only error on this one. That one's kind of funny. I'm not quite sure I know of any other cards that actually had like sideways, energy symbols there, but that's all this one is. This one's fairly common. Here we have a Boss's Way, but the stamp on this one is actually like super smeared. Let me see if I can zoom in without losing my... Oh, lost it. No! Yep, see how thick and smeared that is? That's a really cool stamp. I don't see a lot of stamps exactly that, that thick and smeared. Here is Sleep, another stamp error. So let's see if I can zoom in on this one without ruining my tripod. Yeah, and see how you can tell that this is like something went through there on that stamp. Kind of looks like a little smear off as well. Let's see if I can get it focused here. Yeah, like a slight smear. It could be some sort of like, I'm not quite sure what error that would be. It could not be an error at all, it might just be a damaged card. Next I'll be showing you some twisted cards. Here's actually from Hidden Fates, Caesar card. It's not that bad, it's not very severe. Enough for me to want to buy it though, because I like Hidden Fates and I thought this is a really cool card anyway. So just having one that's like slightly, slightly twisted, that's kind of cool to me, so I had to pick this one up. Here's actually another twisted card. This one is a Machamp. This one is pretty bad compared to that one. Let's see the back. Yeah, you can tell how badly twisted this is just from looking at the back there, but it's pretty bad. If I held it a little crooked, then you could finally look at it straight. Here we have a crimped Reshazard, which is really awesome. Let's see if I can focus here a little better. There we go. Which is a really awesome crimped card to have. I really like the artwork. It's not the worst crimped, but it's kind of like, it actually looks kind of damaged actually, so that's kind of cool. Some people might buy it just like they just would have sold it as a damaged card, but the person I bought it from knew exactly what it was. Now we're getting into the really cool full art miscuts. Full art miscut Sophocles. Really, I love these miscuts. I'm not 100% sure how they have these set up on like in sheets, but the way that this is miscut, you can just see so much silver just on top of that. It's crazy how much that's actually miscut there. And if you look at the back, you see it doesn't hit to the next card yet, so there really is that much space between them on the sheet at least. It could be more. I'm not quite sure when the next one starts, but There's a lot of space in between these. I really like the texture and everything on them too. Here is a Recycle Energy. This one is actually a sideways miscut. This is I think it's my only sideways miscut that I own. And as you can see on the back, this side is tiny and this side's huge. Sideways miscut. And here is a hyper rare Gardevoir GX miscut. I saw this from someone on Instagram and I knew I had to have it. So I hit the guy up. I'm like, please, can you, if you ever want to sell this card, sell it to me. He said, okay, I'll go to you first. And that's how I picked it up. He pulled this straight out the pack and it is pretty nice. I am very happy with this card. Last but not least, I got some PSA cards. This one is Miscut 7 Gyarados. I believe there is pop 4 of this grade. Then I have Miscut 6 Gyarados. And another Miscut 6 Gyarados. This one is opposites. But these ones are actually pop 3. So 2 out of 3 are right here. Well, last time I checked, which was not too long ago. But 2 out of 3 are right here. Wherever the third one is, somebody sell it to me. Thank you. And I have here the Denny GX miscut. It was graded a 3. I think it was graded a 3 because there's this cut line. Let's see if I can zoom in on it without ruining my tripod. There's a cut line up there, and I think that just ruined the grade. I might be wrong because I don't see. Oh, the cut line's over here too. That indent right there. That's why they gave it a 3. So it tried to cut it where a normal card was cut, but must have got shifted or something. Either way, this is a really cool card to have a miscut. I don't really care about the grade as much as the actual miscut grading. It's really nice to have PSA encapsulate these and keep them safe, which is what I'm gonna start doing, I think. And last but not least, we have a double stamped Machamp. This one's only graded a 4, but it is really cool looking. Let's see if I can zoom in and show you. So normal Machamp, I actually have a normal Machamp right here to kind of compare. A normal Machamp looks like this. The big difference is all the ink was actually, looks like it was actually stamped onto the card twice. So if I zoom in here, see if I can fix the focus a little bit. There we go. You can tell how like blurry fuzzy it is. Kind of looks like it might have like a drop shadow on it. Somehow they were able to print it and then they stamped it on top again, so it was actually printed twice on there compared to how nice, crisp, and clear this is. You can tell a clear difference when you have them side by side. If you weren't a Pokemon collector, you probably wouldn't notice this, but it still is a really cool error. And I also have a off-center PSA 9 Ancient Mew, but I seem to misplace that right now, so I guess I can't show that one. Anyway, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to throw in some different kind of fun facts and different stuff there along the way. Planning on having more videos about my different custom cards, maybe some of my different purchases, some booster openings and different stuff like that. So if you like this video and you want to see more content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like, do all that stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.